Oh yeah. Um, Supposed to say something here about Billy Sunday and whatever, but I'm not going to. I'm going to say something about America, and I'm going to say something about the American South, in that we had to fight that war. It was written in the Constitution that all men are created equal. Okay? And while you didn't like the slaves, everything, you sure liked the money that they made. You really did. And that's the reason why that war was fought. Because the plight of my African American brother up north, well, maybe a little bit better in terms of his physical body, in terms of his soul, and his mind, and all that, his spirit, is even more broken than it was in the South. Why do you think all the good gospel, spiritual music comes from the South? Because up north just sucks your blood, sucks your soul away. Living in the inner city hoods. And that's really the reason why the South resents the North so much, because of the Civil War. And it was a war over slavery, yes, but it didn't start as that. It didn't start. Many of the North didn't want to mask their intentions. They didn't want to say that this was a war of slavery, of freedom for all men. That they wanted to say blatantly, this is a war for union, and you're trying to leave the union and not pay taxes, and we want our money, and we're going to come murder you if we have to get it. It wasn't until they realized that that wasn't going to work, and that they needed to make the war about slavery in order to win it, that about halfway through that, it's about slavery now. Slavery. And then the tide turned. No coincidence there. The war had to be fought over slavery. They said, if you're a slave and you come to the North, we won't return you. We'll give you a job in the army. Swelled the ranks of their army with men who had a reason to fight. Not only were they physically capable, very strong men, but they had a willingness to fight and die like no other man. And that is, the tale, along with the brutal treatment of the South after the war during the quote-unquote Reconstruction era, because of what Sherman and a lot of other generals did to the South, because of, a desire to have them put down. The night that they drove Old Dixie down, when Richmond fell. This is a lot of the reason why. And I don't think it really should come as a surprise to many people. But, hey, that's just how it is. It was fated to be the minute they wrote those words in the Constitution that there was going to be something. You can't write that and have our great forefathers, Thomas Jefferson and George Washington, forefathers of this country, they owned slaves. Had to be reconciled at some point. The North and the South was not so bad as everybody makes them out to be. Just regular folk. And that's about all the time that I have on this one, fellow traveler. Yeah. So hopefully that lays some bones of contention to rest. And I will see you on some more wanderings down the Freedom Highway.